So there was a 4K restoration showing of this movie 28 days later at the Alamo Draft House. And out of the theater reaction, I did make a mistake about the tulips and the Van Gogh scene. I've just seen a lot of AI rendering of 4K movies like the Jaws ones that kind of look like that. So it's my fault because that's what it's supposed to look like. Chase Leak here at the Blue Futon reviewing 28 Days Later. What's about pretty simple premise. Cillian Murphy wakes up from a hospital 28 days later realizing what's going on, because some stupid activists decide to think these chimps need to be free. But they don't listen to the doctor. It's like, these chimps are in here for a freaking reason. They have rage. And the activists are like, we know better. Well, apparently you don't, because a lot of activists in this world right now are just dumb motherfuckers. And these are some of them as well that got bit by an ape, and now they let rage zombies go throughout this universe. And my God, activists are sometimes so fucking stupid. Anyway, then we'll have 20 days later, and now just shenanigans ensues of trying to get from point A to point B. But when they get to point B, it's really not as good as I think it is. So, this movie has been out since 2020. Wow, 2002. Holy crap. And the reason why this is out, because 28 years later is coming out the 20th of June. And I watched this, and Weeks later, and Weeks is a worse movie from Days, but it's directed by some people completely different. I am curious where 28 years later is going to go, because it's actually written and directed by the same people that did 28 Days Later. But let's talk about the 4K quality of 28 Days Later. It's okay. Like I said, it's hard for me to compare when I haven't seen this movie in like 20-ish years. I'm only comparing about what I remember. Yes, I remember it being very grainy. Very, very grainy. And this 4K version, very grainy. Very, very grainy. Yes, you get some, brightness here and there throughout this movie, especially like maybe in the apartment where they meet Brendan Gleeson and his daughter, and especially at the very, very end where there are two endings. Let's be blunt. If it's wrong, and Danny Boyle and the writer's like, no, there wasn't supposed to be two endings. There were two endings. I don't care who is going to say, no, you're wrong. No, it's two endings. It's got to be. It doesn't make sense where the car crashes through the grate and there's a pause, and it goes 28 days later. Then we have a completely different style of camera that you could tell that is 4K. When they're in the countryside, that is 100% 4K through in and throughout, and that looks very damn good compared to the other parts of the movie. And that's why I think probably in a test screening, where it stopped, where like they're about to crash the gate and you have no idea if they survived or not. And I bet you people were like, I hated that ending. The ending sucked. And that's why they probably did a little bit of reshoots for the very end and be like, okay, let's bring 3 actors back and let's, make this one scene to make it look like they're actually doing good for each other. So there is that. The movie itself is fantastic character study of these new type of zombies that are running with rage. Great acting, great atmosphere. I mean, when you're looking at it, it's freaking sweet. Especially the gas station scene with the explosion. You're like, damn, this is really fun to watch. And just a really good experience of getting to understand the psyche of these people. And it is kind of two movies where the first half of the movie is trying to survive and the second half of the movie is trying to survive from a different band of characters. So it's more of a zombie movie in one half and a human-esque character of what people are willing to do in these scenarios. And I think having that is a really good premise, because at the end of the day, humans can be dicks through and throughout, or assholes, are just straight up bad individuals. And so are zombies, because they don't care. They care about one thing, spreading this disease. And you can say, humans have the same disease. Not all of them, but some of them are just asshole people that love to shoot people randomly on the street based on their religion, sex, or race. And that's just fucking stupid of them. Like, let's stop with this Luigi Mannioni and this guy killing Jews. Like, really? We're going to praise these people? So sometimes it's like, yeah, zombie virus, come and take those motherfuckers. Please take them, because they're a bunch of assholes. So yes, overall, 20 days later, the 4K restoration is pretty good. Is it needed? That's really up for you to decide, because when watching the special scene from 28 years later, it does look like a completely different movie compared to 28 days later. And then also compared it to 28 weeks later, another completely different looking film through and throughout, different director, everything like that. But it's acted well. It looks great. It's, a very solid experience. Yes, you could say that some scenes and some characters are a little nasty or things that don't make sense. For example, when he hits one of the soldiers with the head, and then the next scene he's basically sitting normally in the truck. So there's little editing things like that, and like character things where it's like, would Brandon Gleeson's character really like get mad at a crow eating a zombie? Like there's little things like that where you're like, I don't know if I really believe that, but when watching this, I enjoyed what I watched on screen. So 28 days later, we'll receive a 4.5 out of 5 of Futon. So it goes at 90%. We'll see the critics and user scores gave this one. Critics 87% with 234. Audience score at 85% with over 250,000. Critic consensus. Kinetically directed by Danny Boyle. 28 Days Later is both a terrifying zombie movie and a sharp political allegory. Political allegory. Huh. I don't know if I get the political part of this movie. I don't. Maybe that critic consensus is wrong. But anyway, if you want a gritty zombie movie, watch 28 Days Later. 90, 87, 85. Chase Hacker with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm Alex Bootontopia. You boof Tony. Say you watch me great down. Watch Tate tomorrow week from a month. And you're from every single freaking one of you. Peace and love. Peace and love. And yeah, if you have that rage inside of you, let's just calm it down.